his heart is full of hate. He butters, cries, and a dark shadow falls over this troll. From the ashes of a once great fandom has risen a meme, an LOL that must be liked. We look to the airwaves for a vindicator, someone to strike fear in the dark basement of the parents who created him. The battle between fan and smart has begun. With a head on his shoulders stands the smart fan, a speaker of truth, with a voice of silence, and a radio show of justice. This is Ring Rust.
So, starting off with Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor from this past Friday, August 19th, at Sam's Town Live in Las Vegas, Nevada. In the pre-show, they had Candice LeRae taking on Vita Scott, and she came out triumphant on that one. They never advertised it, so I didn't predict who I thought was going to win it, so I didn't know it was going to happen. Next up, we saw a four-corner survival match for the number one contendership of the Ring of Honor World Television Championship, which saw Donovan Dijak, defeating Leo Rush, Jay White, and Kamatachi to, be the number one contender for Bobby Fish's Television Championship. So we'll see that in the coming weeks, I'm sure, or possibly the next pay-per-view. I don't know how they're going to work it. I predicted Jay White because that was the name I knew. Well, not even the name I knew, but the name that was the easiest for me to say. It was literally as easy as that, because like I said 2 weeks ago when I actually previewed the show, I'm not actually really up on Ring of Honor. I watch it as much as I can, which isn't necessarily as often as maybe I should. I try to watch it every week. The fact that the problem is, I guess, retaining it, because it's just 1 hour a week. Now, when I say just, it's, Lucha Underground is 1 hour a week, NXT is 1 hour a week, Impact is 1 hour, well, that's 2 hours a week, but still, it's only one show a week, I guess is what I should say. I don't know. I don't want to come off as making excuses. I don't know. I wasn't following these guys maybe as closely as I probably should have been. I did see the show, so after the fact. So it was an enjoyable show, as I imagined it would be. Ring of Honor is always an enjoyable show, regardless of whether or not I accurately guess any of them. I accurately guessed one of these matches. And I'm not even counting the one that I never knew was happening. So of the 8 matches that I knew were happening, I predicted one of them. Oh well. Didn't destroy my enjoyment of the show. I don't even think I was thinking about what I predicted. So I was just thinking, I'll enjoy the show anyway. Because it's wrestling, and I enjoy wrestling. Unlike people who say they're fans, who sit down to watch 3 hours of their supposed least favorite wrestling show ever, every Monday like clockwork. Yes, I'm talking to you. And the third match is Katsuyori Shibata, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, defeating Silas Young in a singles match. And, well, like I said, I predicted Silas Young would win that one because I do like his character. I like what he's doing. He does still look older than his age. Or he looks his age. And he probably should. Like, from the neck up, he looks his age. From the neck down, he looks like an impressive specimen. But, anyway, not really complaining. I mean, I enjoyed the match. It was a decent, almost 10 minutes. It was quite hard-hitting and, made for quite the takeover, I think. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. This is Fabo Mark Jabroni. You are listening to Ring Rust on 3.5 CHMR FM. So next up, for Death Before Dishonor, now, you know how I like naming tag teams, so let's just get the thing up here. So, it's a 6-man tag, which saw the 6-man team of Chaos, which is comprised of Toro Yano and RPG Vice, which is the team of Rocky Romero and Beretta, defeated the Bullet Club, which was Yojiro Tanahashi and Fafita to be tied, because that's their real last name. Anyway, which is Tamatanga and Tangaloa. Again, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing all these names right. I like naming teams, so sue me. If you don't like me naming teams, you're probably listening to the wrong show, because this is the show where I name teams. I'm not going to go on any other show and name team. Well, I mean, not that I wouldn't accept an invitation. I did predict it the other way around because I knew more about the Bullet Club than I knew about even RPG Vice even. So, again, it didn't diminish my enjoyment of the match overall. And next up, we saw Hangman Page defeating Jay Briscoe in an Anything Goes match. I thought, didn't they have wasn't this like a match without honor or something? Isn't that what they call it when it's a hardcore match in Ring of Honor? Something along those lines? I don't know. Again, I predicted it the other way around. I figured the Briscoe brothers would come out on top of both their matches. And, I don't know, something would come of it. Radio shrug, I don't know. Hard-fought match, like almost heading towards the 20-minute mark of just beating each other and putting each other through various pieces of furniture. And finally, Rainmaker Kazuchika, because apparently you don't pronounce the U. If Asuka and Shinsuke Nakamura taught me anything, you don't pronounce the U in Japanese, at least in Japanese names. So, Yasuka, I think, Okada, please forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. I'm not really that good at Japanese names. I know what I know, and I try to use what I know, and it's not probably enough. Defeated Dalton Castle in a match that was almost 50 minutes in and of itself, but still not long enough because more Dalton Castle plays. And of course, being the big Dalton Castle fan, I predicted he was going to win it, but he didn't. Mr. Rainmaker, former NWA champion, won it. So, oh well. Not going to complain. You are listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jobronology TV. So the last three matches we have from Death Before Dishonor from this past Friday in Sam's Town Live in Las Vegas, Nevada. Bobby Fish defended his Ring of Honor World Television Championship title against Mark Briscoe in a match, once again, I didn't predict properly. But again, didn't stop me from enjoying it. The one match I did predict properly saw the Ascension, Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian, defending their Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships against, and once again allow me to look up the tag teams. So, it's against High Fly Flow, Michael Elgin, and Hiroshi Tanahashi, and oh, they actually did name them. Okay. They actually did name the tag team. That's too bad. Because I called them Control Issues, but apparently they're referred to as Los Ingomber de Japan. I know I mispronounced that. Tetsuya Neto and Evil. It was a decent enough match. I mean, I wasn't really paying too much attention to it. I'm not really sure why. I think I might have been doing something else. And I just wasn't paying as much attention to it as I probably should have been. It was a fun match, though, all the same. And in the main event, Adam Cole actually won the World Heavyweight Championship from Jay Lethal. So I certainly didn't call that. That was was certainly the Spanish Inquisition to me. Certainly didn't expect it. So yeah, all in all, it was an enjoyable show. It wasn't the best of the three shows that were this past weekend, but it was a decent enough show. It's certainly worth watching. If you haven't seen it and you want some endorsement to go see it, then I fully endorse it. And I'm sure so does Adam Cole.
Oh! Oh, moving! Ow! Pointy! Ew, slimy. Woohoo! Go up! Marge, it takes two to lie. One to lie and one to listen.
What does that mean?
You're listening to wrestling superstar, the Triple X Sex Express Sexy Eddie, and you're listening to Ring Rust, the one and only wrestling talk radio show.
This is Fabo Mark Jabroni. You're listening to Ring Rust. I mean, he got a particular kick out of it when I told him I like playing his music on my wrestling show. He said, "Oh, next time I have to channel my Mad Dog Vachon, LOL." He didn't quite say LOL, but you know. It was totally banana, though. So, we are done with Death for Dishonor, so it's on to NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 2, or Back to Brooklyn, or whatever you want to call it. The hashtag to use was NXT TakeOver. Not even NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. So, anyway. Well, then again, the hashtag for Death for Dishonor was DBD, so... something to be said about making things simple for your fans. So, there were two matches that weren't on the pay-per-view, but they taped it before the pay-per-view, which they aired on the episode of NXT that was posted to the WWE Network this Wednesday. So, the two pre-show matches, which then ended up airing on the WWE Network as part of NXT's regular TV show, saw Ty Dillinger defeating Wesley Blake in a interesting enough match. I mean, the crowd ended up calling Wesley Blake a 0 because Ty Dillinger's a 10. You're a 0. Oh, that's just completely rude. How can they dare call Wesley Blake a 0? He's a 1 at worst. And in the main event, they saw the Authors of Pain, Akam, and Razar, I don't know, with Paul Ellering in their corner. Oh, that's why. Taking on and defeating TM61, which was Nick Miller and Shane Thorne. So basically the rest of the show was like a recap. This was like less than 25 minutes of actual wrestling, and the rest of just basically the other half of the show is recapping TakeOver, which isn't such a big deal, I guess. You know, it's not a bad thing to recap the show they just had. It was an interesting enough couple of matches. I guess I'll count them in amongst the review, I should say, and I'll get back to talking more about the actual event itself momentarily right after I bring you some pain.
This is a great cat guitar slamming Wrestling News Radio on Ring Rust, CHMR 93.5 FM.
I'm just going to sit here and be superior to you because I'm black on the left half of my face, and you're clearly inferior to me because you're black on the right hand side of your face. But anyway, onward and upward. This is Fanboy Mark Gibroni. You are listening to Ring Rust. So the next three matches for NXT TakeOver, actually from NXT TakeOver, those were like I said for the pre-show, and they aired on NXT this Wednesday. Austin Aries defeated No Way Jose by submission. I did call that one, not necessarily the submission part, but I did call that he would win it. Ember Moon defeated the Saucy Aussie, Billy Kay. I just made it up. I don't know if anyone calls her the Saucy Aussie. They should, I suppose, because that's what wrestling fans like, alliteration, because it's easy, and they can say it easily. And put it on a t-shirt, Saucy Aussie, Billy Kay. Makes its own money. So I predicted that one as well, because at the time I predicted, by the time I was previewing this, her opponent hadn't been announced, and I didn't really think it mattered. Unless to be determined was actually going to end up being vacant, the person who keeps winning all those titles through various wrestling promotions, it probably wasn't going to be, the person announced wasn't going to be the winner. And of course, Bobby Roode defeated Andrade Almas in a match that, quite frankly, I think went longer than I expected it to. Not that I was disappointed at all, of course. More Bobby Roode is certainly good Bobby Roode.
This is 93.5 CHMR FM.
Like me on Facebook, tinyurl.com/ringrust. Follow me on Twitter @MarkGibroni, and subscribe to Jarbronology TV, youtube.com/fanboymarkgibroni. Macho Facts. Randy Savage once decided he was going to package his urine as a sports drink. It's now known as Red Bull. And the Macho Man's elbow drop can be seen from space. So the last three matches for NXT TakeOver from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. So, a tag team match of the Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder defending their NXT Tag Team Championships against Mick Duck Bunny, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa. I could have come up with something better than that, but no, actually I probably couldn't have. So, that was a fun match, as could be expected with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa in really anything. And the characters of the Revival are rather good characterizations as well. They're solid performers, so it was a good 20 minutes all around. And next up, it was My Secret Girlfriend versus My Secret Girlfriend, as Asuka defended her NXT Women's Championship against Bayley, who then didn't win, but technically I guess did win by debuting on the Raw roster, or as I call it, the Raw-ster, because it sounds the same. And anyway, so I personally, nothing against Bayley moving to the main roster. I personally would have preferred her stay in NXT, but that's just me. Not to hold her back or anything, but I just thought she was uniquely qualified to just do extremely well in NXT. We'll see how she works on Raw, I guess, but, you know, I'm not anticipating bad things for her in any capacity, but we'll see. And finally, I did call that Ciampa and Gargano would win the tag team championships, but it's not a big deal. But I did predict that Asuka would defend her title, just like I predicted that Samoa Joe would defend his title, and I guess we know how that worked out. Now, don't we?
Yeah, I've had Windows boot up faster than you. Come on, gotta move on.
For Christ's sake, keep your shirts on by.
This is Fanboy Mark Jabroni. You're listening to Ring Rust on Not a Revolve Job. If I can have your attention, please. I just received an email from the ridiculous Ring Rust general manager. Don't forget to review the Cruiserweight Classic. Yes, I needed one more thing thrown in on top of all this. But hey, you know, a full half hour to review SummerSlam, I suppose, would be fine. It's fine. Like I'm a dog with the house burning around me. But anyway, sure. I haven't seen it yet. I got it downloaded on my tablet. I'm going to watch it when I get home. I can do a quick result for it. Rich Swann defeated Lince Dorado in a second round match, as did Zack Sabre Jr. defeating Drew Gulak. And T.J. Perkins defeated Johnny Gargano. Proving to me, obviously, when people were complaining about why Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa were facing each other in the first round, obviously, A, they just wanted to wrestle each other, and B, they didn't care which one of them won, and C, clearly, with this, they didn't care if either one of them won the entire thing. They've already got a WWE contract. They're on NXT, so they're not really hurting, I don't think. But it's nice to see this moving along quite nicely. It's nice to see they're giving all these matches the appropriate amount of time, and I'm looking forward to seeing the show when I get home. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. I'm going to forego the pre-show altogether and just go with the 9 matches they have here. I'd say 10, except one of them kind of didn't happen. The U.S. title match, Roman Reigns versus Rusev, kind of didn't really start and went to they just brawled along ringside, and that was pretty much it for that match. So there you go. That's that match reviewed. The Miz, Mike Mizanin, defended his Intercontinental Championship against Apollo Crews. I predicted that. I didn't really expect Apollo Crews his first time going for the title to win it. So whether he gets another chance, I don't know. We'll see. Charlotte defeated Sasha Banks to regain the WWE Women's Championship with Dana Brooke barred from ringside. So with Ric Flair and Dana Brooke there, she lost the belt, and then without her, she won the belt. Without any help, she won the belt. So I guess she's proven herself to people who believe they're really fighting each other. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, we need more of that actually in wrestling fandom. People who actually believe what's going on. That's actually kind of amazing. I actually rather enjoy it when I see it. So But anyway, the match I really wanted to talk about was the tag team match, which MCJ and Cool K, which I prefer to call them over Jericho, which Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens defeated Enzo Amore and Big Cass, who I like to call Can't Teach That, in a tag team match which was only 12 minutes long. Because it's Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, which is magic in and of itself, and Enzo Amore and Big Cass are kind of magic in and of themselves, and they all made magic together. So, yay! You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. This is Fanboy Mark Jabroni. You are listening to Ring Rust. AJ Styles defeated John Cena in a singles match, sort of expected. Is that what I predicted? Yes. Next up, Luke Gallows and Carl Edison at WWE Bullet Club, or Bulletproof rather, defeated The New Days, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, with Jon Stewart. By his qualification, I expected Rudy Tooty, as I call them, were going to retain their title, which I guess technically is what happened. I expected them to actually flat out win though, so radio shrug. And Dean Ambrose defended his WWE World Heavyweight Championship, nowhere near the main event, against Dolph Ziggler.
Like me on Facebook, tinyurl.com/ringrust. Follow me on Twitter @MarkJabroni. And subscribe to Jabronology TV, youtube.com/fanboymarkjabroni.
Nikki Bella made a return to the WWE ring to team with Sexual Blondage, which is Natalia and Alexa Bliss, to defeat Wouldn't Kick Them Out of Bed for Eating Crackers, which is Naomi, and NXTNA, Becky Lynch and Carmella. Finn Balor ended up beating Seth Rollins to become the first ever Universal Champion, and Brock Lesnar defeated Randy Orton by TKO, and neither one of those three matches I called properly. So, yay.
That's it for another show, kiddies. Check me out on Facebook, where you can keep track of all the news that's right on the mark, from around ringside to the latest concerts. See you at the shows. Later days.
This is 93.5 CHMR FM.